Hey everyone! Woohoo! Uh, I believe we're live. Uh, Perhaps now. So I'll repeat. Hello everyone! Woohoo! What amazing auspicious times we are in. Indeed. While the old, let's say lower timeline is rapidly deteriorating, destructing, we have the new timeline. It's right here on the doorstep. The GPMS instrument and vehicle of worldwide unity. So, let me just see. Just something come up. Some action is needed. That perhaps the frame is a little bit low. Well, let me see. Now, perhaps I will just continue with this. In the comments, can someone just say if this is streaming great? Thank you. I see Lee was the last one to comment, and hi, brother. Woo! And Lee is a very amazing divine one as well in the unity of GPMS. Okay, we're rocking and rolling pretty good then. So I'm not breaking up. Everything is great. Excellent. Okay, so and do I need to start over? Well, woohoo! Unity. Very important, and that is what is occurring. So with GPMS, we had approximately, uh, when we look at the average day-to-day sign up or energetic support for GPMS, over the last month, let's say, it's around 50 that were there per day that would sign up. However, in the last week, we had approximately a 4,000 percent increase just in a few days. And it was a result of a huge group coming in with over 2,000 signatures of support. And this is very substantial, and it also shows the opening. So GPMS was going like this, getting streamlined, but then poof, all of a sudden, huge unity came in support. Now, what this has done, it is also a catalyst and a sign to show you how quick and viral this goes once the information gets out there, which it is, and it's out there in many areas. So, very quickly, the worldwide unity is created with GPMS. And I've always said from day one, it is inevitable and it is immediate and it's imminent. And it is. And I still remain with that. You know, we publicly put GPMS live in March, on March 17th. At that time, I said in a couple months, 2 months, this inception could happen. It did not yet. How everything is on divine timing, because what we're playing with here is in good ways, what we're playing with is creation. So this lower timeline, it is in proportion to the higher timeline GPMS. So as this contracts, if you will, GPMS expands. So it is in ratio, in proportion to each other. However, it is not a direct ratio. The it's exponential, the rate, which gives it the viral effect. So again, with GPMS, this is occurring. We're taking off. I have been doing much work with contacts and interviews, and Femke and I meeting many personally, most part in Denmark as of late. And, we're getting the word out there. One of the things with GPMS is that there is a little bit of a conscious gap that needed to be broken through by many to see the simplicity for the logic human brain, if you will. When one looks at it from the logic, they cannot, in the past at least, fully see what this is, which is the ultimate solution. However, if one just takes the time, about 30 minutes or so, go in, read the website, and look at it as it's just a vote. It's a choice that you can make. However, it is more than a vote. It is a worldwide vote of support. So you can, when you're given GPMS to anyone to look at, you can just, even if they don't grasp it fully, what it is, the comparison chart, which is on the website by the frequently asked questions, that is one of the most valuable tools to get anyone to look at. And very quickly, it is no choice when you look at the comparison chart, because you see what you have now, which we call is the old, and you see the GPMS, what we create altogether instantly. And it becomes no choice, meaning that it's so easy to decide just to vote for it, but it is important to put your, um, let's say, not a signature, or you can, if you will, to put your energetic mark that you are consenting and joining with this in the unity of all. So you don't need to now write a signature. There's a box, you can draw a happy face, a star, a symbol, just something to mark your humanoid presence there is what it's needed. And also, as we can count, your vote as one of the numbers, because the numbers are also important. This is why we need all of you to sign up, to consent to what we're doing, this unity of all of us to create together. So we count all of the sign-ups, and also even from children. This is again so important. Even a 1 day old child can be signed up on there by the parents and as the guardians, but also children um, on their own accord can also sign up. And we have a beautiful uh, male child, 7 years old, that has signed up on his own accord. He understood the simplicity of it, but also understood what he wants for his world, which is the ultimate freedom, what GPMS is. So, very quickly, just to look at some worldwide statistics, if you look at how many children under the age of 18 that is around the world, you come with a figure of almost 2 billion. But it gets more significant when you understand that these children really did not have a vote nor a choice before. Now they do. Their votes, if they're 1 day old, it counts. So with this, you can see how this is huge, because not only is this the future, the immediate future for all of us, it is also for every child. and they are within every right to be able to vote and be counted for what we are doing, and it is. So, uh, anyone sharing the GPMS information, um, we please ask to uh, keep it as simple as you can. Uh, Come up with your own ways, of sharing it with others so they can get it. But it's very important. Tell all of them just to wipe out the chatter, sit down calmly, and really take a half an hour or so and look at this. Now I'm just going to check the comments here just to make sure we're still streaming good. Great stream. Okay. Thank you. Okay, great. Uh, okay, just at this time, I'll just break to ask a little or to answer a little question. And Lauren Gardner says, can you clarify what you mean by GPMS? Well, GPMS is the acronym for the Global People's Monetary System and Simplified Law. So I have initiated this, and since I have initiated it, we are a growing group, equal group with this. So the GPMS is a vehicle to gather the united voice of all peoples to very quickly create the new reality. A new money by the people which is superior above any known monies upon the planet, because what we're doing within each one of you, you have intrinsic value which is infinite. And one of that intrinsic values is also the ability to create money. So your intrinsic, which is within you, your intrinsic monetary value is unlimited, and it's controlled by you. So, having said this, there is no one to tell you how much money you can create. So, what we are doing is we are all coming together, and we are just going to create, yes, out of thin air. That's how banks and governments do it. We are going to create unlimited funding for all. So, what we're actually doing is money in the past was the control upon people. And you could say it was evil control because when banks and governments created money, along with that creation, they created poverty, separatism, misery, lack, stress, even enslavement for many. So what we did is we flipped the tables on them. And over here, what we have done by the GPMS now being in existence, we have flipped the table, but it's the full comfort and freedom for all of humanity. And we are just going to create infinite funding. There is nothing attached to it. There's no taxes, no accounting. We don't need any of that. That is the old system of control. Uh, Perhaps 99% of the people upon the planet are good people, and they want peace, harmony, comfort, and love, of course, and much more. So we have the full ability, the full potential, the full capacity right now to create this world. And we wipe out poverty, misery, so many things that are undesirable with the society today. We wipe it out instantly just by joining. So that's a little bit, Lauren, about GPMS. But GPMS is all encompassing to what every human would want to live like and exist here. So it is extensive, it is all inclusive in regards to the complete comfort and full alleviation of stress from every man, child, and woman upon the planet. So, having said this, it's best for you and everyone upon the planet to look at it seriously. This is what we're creating. It's unstoppable. It cannot be prevented by anyone. And even, for example, if any existing government, if GPMS was put before them, saying, okay, what are you going to do? Support this or oppose it? Well, really, they can't oppose it because GPMS is the most humane instrument ever upon the planet. And if they oppose it, it just shows the billions of people their actual intent, which is not in the public interest. So there's also why it is a checkmate on the old system and so many other things. um, Thank you, everyone. Just looking a little bit just to uh, see another question. So someone asks how people can trust this organization. Well, Alexander, it's a unity of all people. So what occurs is the people that trust each other and know what they want. We are all of this unity, and we create it. And what's occurring as a result of the Great Awakening, you have professionals from every walk of life, of society, that are also awakening. And within all of these that are awakening, is all of the solutions. It's a huge think tank to just have the solutions to take humanity forward. So if anyone is hesitant, having doubts, or mistrust, very quickly you are going to see more and more of the GPMS because it's built on trust. And also, having said that, all of your doubts will be eradicated very soon as everyone begins to see the huge numbers that are uniting uh, with the GPMS to take this forward. So it becomes an easier choice for anyone that has mistrust or doubt within them that this can be done. Um, so you also say some of them think it's sensitive to share private info about them. Um, what there were many fears in society, but again, all of your private information really is not private. It's been shared by governments, all the IT uh, networks, all of your social platforms. Everyone more or less knows that there actually was no privacy. And also with Edward Snowden, showed the U.S. How everyone was actually spied on. So if you want to look at that, uh, it, everyone was spied on, so there was no privacy. But the GPMS is, you can keep it simple and just say it's a vote, or a petition. You're allowed to sign, Alexander, petitions or votes. You've done that. Everyone done that, more or less, over the age of 18. So, having said that, what you're saying is if people think it's sensitive, that they'll get over that very quickly. So, so let me just go back before I answer some more of these questions. Uh, so the thing is, quickly, I've been doing many interviews. Also, to my knowledge, others associated with GPMS has, and Brother Lee Mudway also. And anyone that is watching this, either Lee or I, can be contacted to do interviews to share this with your people. And also, there are others within what we call our contributors group, which is expanding. If we had everyone there right together now, we would have about 400 volunteer contributors to get the word out. Now, also within these contributors, right at this moment, we do not know how many of these also would want to do interviews, but that will come because we're all acting on our own accord and what we feel is the best way to get the word out there. And we're contacting many humanitarian groups, sovereign groups, uh, every humane groups, and so we're in the process of contacting all of them. And any of you watching this, if you have direct contact with, let's say, group leaders of these groups, please, I would love to speak to them, Lee, and perhaps others, so we can inform them just how this actually is and how it is actually totally possible in this time and that it is in what we're doing. Uh, so, having said that, we are open for interviews to spread the word and to educate how very easy this is, the GPMS, how easy it is to create. So right now, the GPMS is actually the engine to create the unity. And as we go forward, all of the humanitarian communities, eco villages, sovereign communities, spiritual communities, they have already everything in place to know what is best for humanity in lines with how to care for the planet, how to grow things, how to heal, all of the good things. It's already there, and it's contained within that unity of these groups. So when you look at that, things are very simple. So the word is spreading rapidly, as we're seeing, which is great, and exponentially it is. Um, yeah, so those were a few things that I had written down. And what we need to do, also, anyone watching this that is also uh, a contributor of GPMS, also, we wish to have some form of simplified tutorials put out there for representatives of the people. This would work much greater when ones are educated to the simplicity of the GPMS, then they can also give it to their people, and share it in their own words, and to get the simplicity of the word out there very rapidly. Um, so, having said that, oh, so I see here in Germany, people think, what Peter says, that it's for lazy people and they are hurting the government. That mindset is widely spread, and I am not sure how that can be stopped. They defend their abusers. Well, Peter, that is your perspective, but the way to stop what you're saying, that mindset, that negative mindset, is actually not to focus on it. Take your time now and focus on this unity. And this unity holds true. It's your most powerful state to overcome the old quickly. If you remain focused on the government and being the victim, if you will, you do not rise into your own power. So it is a no choice for ones to take your focus away from fighting the governments in their legal systems, their entire judicial systems were designed to control the people. So when you're trying to do things uh, legally or lawfully within governments, in the past, you rarely ever win or make such a movement forward because you need to realize they control those systems. Now, in let's say with GPMS, what we have the divine absolute law, which is very simple, and it's also above their systems that are biased. They're actually unfair. Their sisters' systems that they have. So again, everyone can waste a lot of time in with good intent. Although they have good intent, they can waste a lot of time at fighting against governments. All the work they have done, the governments are actually at checkmate now. They're subdued because of all of the beautiful work the sovereignty groups, freedom fighters, what they have done. The governments are at bay, and you're seeing this in very real indicators where uh, restrictive measures, they have to drop them. They cannot keep them in force. So this is very important, as an indicator. So I'm not here talking off the top of well, I am talking off the top, but what I'm saying, this is very real. If you go in and just look at it, you can see how the minority, uh, less than 1%, how they cannot impose all of these things and have it last or stay upon the majority on the planet. So again, the focus is better to be shifted towards creating the absolute solution, the new, which is the unity and the infrastructure of the GPMS. It is designed to accommodate all of humanity, all situations, to bring everything into a higher resonance and a higher place of comfort for all. So, having said this, the more that puts the focus on creating the GPMS in the new, the less you have to contend with governments and all of this telling you what to do. Because again, the governments worldwide is only about 200,000 worldwide, and it's no way they can dictate or tell 7 billion people what to do, especially when it begins to strip everyone of the rights. The people, they know within them, they're instilled with all of the morals and ethics, and, every person can see what's right or wrong, and that's what's happening. And again, as a result, the governments, what they were trying to do, they reached a ceiling. So you got here, less than a quarter of the world's population that the governments had and persuaded, with their restrictions. But up here, you have 75% or more, which is the worldwide majority. And it's no way they can impose their measures upon the 75%. There are so many reasons why that will not work. And we are in the time of the great unity. So keep the focus up here on the 75%, which is good for all of humanity. So, okay. Should have asked Becky Morgan. She just said some of the people in the groups I have shared GPMS with have asked what the difference is between Nasara and Jasara. So, to keep it simple, Becky, what I wish to clarify, you know, let's say a couple decades ago, The idea of Gessera and Nocera, when it was introduced, was great for back then. However, we are in a time now where Gessera and Nocera is outdated and is very primitive, and it also does not take the control away from the bankers and the governments. For one reason is that Gessera Nocera is based on a material backed aspect like gold. And with this, whoever owns the gold, and as long as they have financial markets, it dictates the value of the gold, which is the control to the amount of funding or money that people ever would get. So to eliminate that loop and that control that Gessera and Nocera is, as well as with some constitutional things, we got to throw it all away. It's a looping mechanism that keeps control of the people. So the constitutions, you don't need these anymore. You saw they were not upheld. And what occurs around the planet where constitutions worldwide, because of restrictions the governments put on, they actually violated all of these. But where the governments were able to violate all of these constitutions, it shows that the constitutions really have no weight. So in times when this happens, the people are in their full right to go to the absolute divine law that really it doesn't have to be written extensively like a constitution. It is known within. So, having said this, also, you don't need to go back and rely on constitutions of each country because the constitutions also were connected to judicial systems that were compromised, but also with the intent of these judicial system was only giving you an illusion through constitutions that you had rights. But what has occurred, you see that with your constitutional rights, where they could be violated by governments, that actually constitutions have no weight. So to keep it simple, throw that all away. The unity of the people creates the simple one worldwide constitution for the people if you need it. And it's very simple to respect and uphold all people's rights and not physically harm another. So that part is simple. And again, where Gessera and Nocera uses perhaps precious metal or gold-backed currency or what have you, again, it's who controls the gold and who controls and dictates the value of it. Gpms, what this does is it activates your unlimited intrinsic monetary value that is controlled by you, not by a bank or a government that controls the material asset. So what we do is we activate our own monetary value, and there's no limit on that. And very quickly, one of the things with the world, what they put out, they say the world is in gazillions, perhaps dollars of debt or trillion. Like there is no debt. You don't owe it to anyone. And these kind of economic things they put out are absolutely ridiculous. And also when you look at today, the numbers, every child that is born today in the U.S. comes with a bill, what they say, comes with an invoice of around, I think, $67,000 they owe when they come into the world. But how ridiculous and preposterous is that? But it's to show you how the old economics is just a ridiculous primitive thing. Every child is born free, and what we are doing in this now, no child comes with any price tag on their head. And with the GPMS, yeah, please get informed on the GPMS. And so those are a couple things with NESARA and GESARA. So we need to get the focus of all of those groups from GESARA and NESARA in line with the GPMS so that we create the ultimate solution where all of the people actually control the monetary value of their self, but united as a worldwide community. And then there is no lack anymore, no control. Basic incomes, no, they're a no. Those would be like a government offering you a bone to buy you out to keep control over you. No, enough is enough. So what we're doing is uniting everyone worldwide, and we just create the ultimate money. And it is that simple. And also, what it does, it renders all banks and governments' money valueless. It has no value when it's not supported. For example, if you have less than 1 million bankers or governments, that had the money in different currencies. But if you have 7 billion people that just create and share in that one money, everyone will want the one money where it's unlimited, uncomfortable, or unlimited, comfortable existence with very, very few strings attached, unlike what the governments have with every day. They're trying to create more strings and strings and to suppress ones and enslave them and chain them. So again, it's even children can understand that this is the choice. So it's that easy. It's that beautiful as well. Okay, I'll look at a couple more questions here, but I didn't wish to keep this so very long because I wish to do an energetic update on what's occurring with the ascension overall, the planet, the dissolving of the lower timelines, and the creation of the new. Your empathic abilities, where they are increasing, your ESP, your parapsychological abilities, your clairvoyancy, clairescence, um, escience, sentience, your telepathy, where all of these things are rapidly increasing, and your ability to feel energies. So I want to do that soon as well. But I'll look at a couple more questions. So from Frankfurt, having problems with the Catholic Church. Well, yeah, everyone more or less awakened at this point very quickly. Let's say if the Vatican and the Catholic Church, instead of embellishing and enriching themselves and collecting, of course, hoards of gold and mass amounts of land, and they were the most, let's say, most wealthiest institution upon the planet, while daily many children die of starvation, about 15,000, and many deprived of many things. So you actually saw the Vatican the way it was hoarding riches while others died. But it very quickly shows where their focus was at, the Vatican. Investing and being like a business while at the really the expense of others. When you looked, when they would collect, in all of their churches and build huge churches, that the elaborate things is where the money had went with it. And within all of the churches there are so many good people as I said again, I need to say again, upon the planet, 90% of the people, or 99%, are good people from their heart. But there were many tricks played onto them. And we are in the times of that all being revealed, and most know that now. Even with your charities, in the past, it was only like pennies on the dollar that actually got anywheres. You had ones that were taking care of charities, not to mention any individually, but driving a Mercedes Benz. And these charities were supposed to be, if they had the full good intent, was to be mostly volunteer work, and a modest, perhaps, a modest wage or what have you taken from it, but not such an elaborate wage where they would buy Mercedes and live in mansions. No. So I could ramble on all day like that. But anyhow, um, yeah, so everyone, before this gets too far off track, I don't want to get into the old. Um, we're creating the new, and I suggest for everyone to keep your focus on creating the new, spread the awareness, get GPMS out there to as many as you can, and let the world know they have a choice. This is a worldwide referendum, a vote, if you will, and the quicker we get the majority on board with this, the quicker we begin the inception and the funding to everyone, which is instant. Everyone that has signed has registered, and instant funding for all essential goods and services, and also on the individual level, every child, man, and woman. Again, so go on the site and you can see what we have, give some approximate numbers, just as to give ones an idea of our full potential, you and I and all of us together, what we create in the lines of using money as the good tool that provides everything. So money is being used in the most ultimate way that eliminates wealth disparity, and it gives equality to everyone. So the full attributes of GPMS and what it is, it lifts everyone into the immediate places of full comfort and joy. So anyhow, that's great. I'll just have a look. Um, Space. See if there's another question, maybe. This is divinely decreed, the GPMS, and let's say the advancement of the human civilization. Nothing stops us. So humanity is now transitioning out of the savage, primitive society into the new, free, open-ended society. And the GPMS is that tube to get there. So if you look at the old society is here, and you have GPMS is the tube to the new. So as ones begin to make their choices and see they have the GPMS, they come up the tube, and this gets bigger, and it's the new reality that's created. So I see Manny just said about people who would love the thrill of stealing from people. With the GPMS, ones will not need to steal. They'll have everything they need. And if there is a odd kleptomaniac or what have you, they would get tired of what they're doing because they'd have no effect with it. Monetary crime does not exist in GPMS, so it's a totally different environment where you will not see any thieves. There is no reason to steal something that is unlimited and instantly always there. So, and also with GPMS, one of the other great beauties is upon inception, it creates huge deflation instantly as a result of everyone having their own money activated, no debt with it. Then what it does, it begins to bring down prices in all of your goods and services, because within these goods and services, ones that are providing this, they are getting paid from their own same uh, intrinsic monetary value. So this is why deflation occurs. You wipe out the payroll, so then you don't have these costs reflected in prices. But deflation continues very rapidly when humanity sees there is no use for money at all. You don't need that as an exchange because you have the worldwide community that is all sharing and working together, and they come very quickly to know they do not need money at all. But money is being used as the transition to get them there quickly. So we flip the table from the evil control of money, we give it to the people, then humanity advances quickly forward. Now, where humanity has just been alleviated of all stress, financial stress, it also causes a monumental shift upon the planet in energetics, where many new, good, miraculous things and beautiful things also began to occur because everything is energy. And when you have this purity of energy where you have a lot of stress no longer there, then it creates consciousness shifts forward that ones see it. They acclimatize very quickly into this reality. But the energetics of it all, it creates a monumental shift in humanity, and it also begins to allow humanity to enter the more dimensional space where first contact and by, let's say, extraterrestrials, where that occurs as well, because the space is favorable energetically and with physics to support these inter and multi-dimensional um, first contacts, if you will. So, without getting too deep in that. But, having said that, thank you all. And what I will do now is just stop this. It's got pretty lengthy. Anyone watching this for the first time, you can get in touch with me on Facebook Messenger. Um, and also, yeah, through GPMS. I also have a Telegram channel, um, and that is Rick Jore's original channel, I believe, on Telegram. But the Telegram channel is where I more so uh, put out updates to assist with ones with their self-empowerment, and also the overview of how the planet is transitioning into, the GPMS and the higher states of consciousness and higher states of being. And so that's great. Good. Love you all. Unity and peace. And it's happening. Have no doubt. Spread the word today in your own way We're all volunteers doing this together. The GPMS is just the name, the label we have on it to identify this huge engine to your new reality where everything is beautiful and harmonious and you never need to worry again. So get on board as soon as you can, and your children, have them sign, have them share the word if they feel, get the word out there. The quicker we get the certain amount of signatures, then we do it. It begins to release the funds. So we need the signatures to create the voice. Then this huge voice upon the planet, nothing can stand against it. It has to submit or support it. It cannot oppose it. It's that simple. So, quicker we get the word out there and get ones signed up uh, or voting for this, the quicker we get it done. We have upon the planet approximately 4 million higher consciousness beings uh, connected to Creator. Also has the knowledge how to be administrators to assist in taking everything forward and setting up committees and what have you to look at the entire planetary logistics to keep everything moving forward. Uh, so they're all here upon the planet. It is still just a matter of uniting them as well. And some of these huge groups to unite these ones. And at this time, I fully ask for all group leaders to let go of any ego that you have and unite now together for the one common goal so we get this done. Separatism is not unity, and we do not move things forward separated. There is the strength in the numbers, there is the strength in the unity. You don't need to waste time fighting against governments. We just create the new world for all of humanity together. All of humanity knows what they want and what they wish to enjoy and how they wish to live. So we create it this way. We don't need to ask any government's permission. We don't even need to tell them. So it's very simple. All we do is unite. Now, having said this, the protesters and demonstrators and ones that are still continuing, let's say, to do some of that fighting, that's great as well if you wish to keep them at bay. But at the same time, you're having them little battles. Get in here and focus on GPMS because GPMS is taking the place of what you're fighting against. So you can do both if you wish, but what I'm saying is that you really don't need to fight against governments anymore or ask their permission. You just simply need to unite worldwide under this one common goal. And GPMS is the most sensible thing that you would ever see and wish to be a part of. It is the ultimate permanent solution for humanity to transition them out of the requirement for money and lack at all. So this is the beautiful vehicle. Know it for what it is and know that you can get it done quicker by signing up, voting for this, and being a part of it. Even if you group leaders, you begin to be a part of GPMS and start spreading this awareness to all of your people, we get it done quicker. What I'm speaking about, we can do it in less than 2 months. I still say that. And what we're doing, if the governments, actually had this in mind in the banks, they could do it in 2 days, what we're doing. However, we need the people to unite and stand, and it may take a few months, but again, the way everything is going with what I call the lower timeline and all the chaos and demonstrations that's occurring there, it, it, it should not take long at all. So the length of time it takes is dependent upon how many votes. So we get the numbers there and show people that this is an actual thing. And when you have a majority voice or even a huge voice created, again, nothing can go against that. So, woo! Love and light and much gratitude to you all. And have a beautiful day. And we truly are in the most glorious times that humanity could ever think was possible. So take a half hour and you'll see why. And look at gpms.world. Love and light. Much gratitude. Thank you for all of your support.